It,
I'm
I,
so torn. I'm so torn right now because the person I really think is a traitor, it's so hard to put that name out there because then everybody runs back to that person who's like, "Psst, psst, psst, Tina said, Tina," and then that just puts a huge target on your back with the traitors.
got you.
The
Well,
whole thing is just gross, you know?
whatever you and I talk about stays between you and I. I'm not the kind of person that does one-on-ones with people and is going and like throwing that same information around. I personally don't do that. And like I said, I was even afraid to say a name because
Right.
I didn't want him to get votes. I didn't want it to get gain weight. You know?
Yeah, like I mean, when Melissa started and she's like, "I'm going to vote for Brad because of what Tina said last night," I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. And then
And
yeah,
personally, I still think it's Brad or it's Jonathan. That's kind of where I'm going. But
Jonathan's good. He's
yeah,
good.
he is. He's very good.
His vote on Patrice was it was really
Yeah.
safe, really smart vote.
Yes, it was way out of left field. Nobody had said anything about Patrice. And the thing is, Patrice is not quiet. When we're together in breakout rooms, he's talking. So, I don't know. I really think that was kind of a telling vote. It really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. It being split as it was, I don't this is like and I didn't want to do that to Caleb because like again we didn't talk much, but when we were doing that comp, I didn't feel confidence in him. I didn't feel the confidence that he's gonna come through.
Yeah.
That was my personal
But
justification.
it's now if you okay, you can't think mole, you can't think any of these other things. You have to think traders. The traders want the money just as bad as the faithful do. They're not going to throw a challenge. They're not going to not give it their all in a challenge. So just because you're not feeling somebody during a challenge doesn't necessarily mean they're either on your side or not on your side.
Yeah, and I wasn't inferring to that at all. It was just the
Okay.
only thing I had on somebody.
You just felt weird with them.
It
Okay. Oh,
it
I
was
get it. I get it.
he was the only person I had felt no weirdness towards anybody up until that interaction with him. So
Okay.
for me, it was no brainer. I'm gonna go Caleb. I had no idea other people would vote Caleb as well. And
Yeah,
frankly,
that was surprising.
It's surprising
Yeah.
that it did. You know, personally, I feel like votes were blended on Caleb so that people can, you know, not have to discuss what they're doing and hide in the votes.
Oh, for sure. And I felt that's exactly what Brad did. I mean, uh, as far as I know, Brad had probably zero interaction with Caleb. So for
Yeah,
him to vote for him was just like a Hail Mary. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, I need to deflect the attention off
So
here.
I'm gonna tell you this, Tina, because it's only you and I trust you. I have no reason not to. But Brad and I were put in a room separately. It was
Okay.
just me and him. So he basically was like, "Hey, if you vote to save me, I won't put your name down."
Oh,
And
okay.
I was
Okay.
like, sure, let's make the deal. At first, I was gonna go Brad. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because that's the name I was hearing tonight.
Well, that's good to know, though. Thank you for
But
sharing with me.
and I'm not sharing it with everybody because I don't want
Okay.
them to think, oh, that's a crutch. He's just using that. You know, that's literally what happened. I'm not gonna say no to him because
Sure.
what if he survives? Then he can go into the next round and be like, hey, that you know, why didn't he want to save me? You know what? I'm a faith,
Right.
whatever. You know.
So, what did
Yeah.
you think about Victoria voting for you? I also thought that was pretty sketchy.
It is. It is. And I had no idea. We were actually talking, me and Victoria. So I was actually surprised about that. So I maybe she just felt genuine sus on me for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I think I made enough reason for it to be personal to just me. You know, I wasn't trying to put him out there as a name for others to vote for.
Right.
I literally just said name because everybody was staying silent, not saying a damn thing,
Yeah.
and I don't want anybody to suss me out. So you know what? You want to be a faithful? Let's be a faithful. Let's talk about it. That's what faithfuls do. We're gonna discuss how we feel and why we feel about certain things.
Right.
No one,
Exactly.
no one else gave justification why they wanted to vote Caleb. They just felt what I said, you know, was valid,
Right. Right.
and that wasn't my intention to get him out.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I mean, it's almost like I wish I knew how Phil picked the traders. Was this something like he put a lot of thought into, like who's going to be good trader, or did he spin a wheel? You
It
know,
could it could very
right?
well be random. Who knows? Shoot.
I mean, because if I were like handpicking people to be the traders, I totally would pick Brad because he runs his own games. He knows how this shit works. And Jonathan is just a cool cucumber. He really is.
Jonathan's definitely up there, but
And
hopefully he's a because then he yeah.
absolutely. Yep. He swore to me he was, but it's like, I don't know.
I'm a faithful. I need you to understand. I am here to help us win. I'm here to game. I have experience under my belt in terms of like orgs. I may have
Yeah.
never played a fill game before, but I know my way around the game. So
Awesome.
I'm an asset. That's
Okay.
yeah.
I'm a faithful as well. I will look you right in the eye and tell you that. Um,
I'm gonna be honest. I think all three of you are faithfuls. All three of the returnees. It's just too obvious to make one of you,
oh,
or
yeah.
even all of you, the traders. It's
And
too
especially like there's no way that having played traders before and then having just come off a season of the mole that he's gonna make me a trader. It would just
yeah,
be no.
yeah.
And trying to remember if Stick was recruited. No, it was Jessica and some other blonde chick were the traders. God, I can't remember her name. But yeah, no, yeah, we were all faithfuls and they picked us off one by one. Yeah, it was bad.
I definitely feel like you guys are here for redemption. So I don't see why you guys would be traitors. I think it makes sense that you guys are faithfuls. You guys have knowledge. You guys have to stick around because
Yeah,
you guys can literally save us from imploding, like how
yeah,
you guys are saying were happening in your season.
yeah. And Anthony is a shitty ass liar, so there's no way he could be a traitor.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's nah, he's a good guy. You would know right away. Like he wouldn't be able to look you in your face and like tell you a lie.
He seems genuine. All three of you seem genuine. It's just hard to imagine any of you being traitors at this point.
Yeah, no, I don't. I know I'm not, and I'm pretty sure Anthony's not. Stick is also very cool. She's got a very long history of Phil's games, and I'm talking like she was one of the originals.
Yeah.
She's an OG, big time. But
Well,
as
that's
far
good
as
to know. Shoot.
yeah, as far as the other, and she's won Survivor. She's won one of Phil's one, maybe possibly more. So she's got a lot of experience for sometimes she comes off being a little scatterbrained and ditzy or whatever. No, she's not at
She's
all.
good. She's got a
Yeah.
brain on her.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
yes. Yeah.
I love that. I
She's
appreciate that
someone you want.
information.
Yeah, she's someone you want on your side for sure.
Awesome. So we should get another rooms. Everybody's having
Sounds good.
discussions. Let's get in it.
Okay. Talk to you later.
It was good talk.
Yes.
Oh, hello. I got pulled. How are you?
Go to that room.
I know. I thought I was gonna. When we got pulled, I thought it was gonna be over, and I was like, "Oh no, I wanted to talk to more people." And then, yeah. Well, hello. How do you feel?
Not bad. This is actually different than the last time that we played because normally you could like jump and go wherever the hell you
Yeah,
wanted. You were never pulled anywhere where you were
yeah,
when you're trying to make a point in the middle of making a point.
yeah. So the person I was talking about on my vote was Brad. I feel like yesterday, and honestly, don't. So let me backtrack. Before I heard Tina say like the whole like the reasoning on Brad, I felt good about Brad. I felt like him, me, and Adam were in the same one of the same initial rooms, and we talked to whatever, and I just got genuine good vibes. And then after the room with Tina, I felt like okay, I can see it, whatever. And I actually talked to Brad last night. We were messaging, and he basically was just like, oh, like I understand if I get murdered or I get banished or whatever. He's like, I understand if I get banished. Like, I'd rather get banished than murdered. And I was like, I feel like I'd rather get murdered. I feel like I don't want anybody to vote for
It was
me, and
brutal.
I feel like I feel bad.
Oh, feels good to
I
Send me
hear.
off on my way.
That's how it's gonna be. And then today, I even told Brad, I'm like, Brad, I'm sorry, I don't want to vote for you, but like what she's saying is the only thing that I can go off of right now. And so when
Yeah,
she,
that's what I was.
But just a minute, I just want to verify with Brandon that you verified that I told you the truth in that other room, right? Yes, I did. Okay, so anyways, I told him that I just threw his name out there because
oh,
he
okay,
wasn't
yeah, yeah,
there.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
Wait,
feel you have to be
fine.
honest. Like if you, yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, and then so today I felt bad about it, and I was like, the whole reasoning that she was talking about how Brad was a traitor was because he was confused about the breakout rooms. But then when she said, "Oh, the
Yes.
reasoning why he didn't know is because his games don't work on Zoom," and I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense."
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, I know, and I think that was the only reason, and so I felt bad if that
Yeah,
genuinely
that
is
was the
him.
main thing
Yeah,
for
no,
me.
yeah, and that was the root of everything. And so after that, like I didn't know what to do, and then so Matt brought up Caleb, thought it was weird, and I was just like, I feel like that's a little more weird than you not understanding how to do a breakout room. He even joked about calling himself old or whatever, but like it, I don't know. That was my reasoning.
I mean, literally, I didn't have a computer to play with until 10 minutes before I came. So being
Yeah.
old is okay.
Yeah. No.
But
Stick, can I ask you? I know you didn't get a vote, but like, who were you like? Would you have voted for Brad?
I didn't have a vote, therefore I didn't have to think about
Yeah.
that. So if I had a vote, I would have been more invested into it. I was more interested in creating conversations and
Yeah.
actually, this person and that person and these people, rather than just let's sit here and look at each other.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna
It's so
call
awkward
Brandon out because he's not there.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
totally
it's so awkward.
understand.
Yeah.
I would not have voted for Brad. No.
Howdy.
I wouldn't have. Absolutely not.
You think
I would have been very much as confused as everybody else on who I was going to vote for. And I would have probably based it on the challenge, and I likely would have voted for Caleb because that seemed the obvious choice. But I probably would have known that we're voting out a fucking faithful, and we don't
Right.
want to do that
Oh,
again
I knew we were.
this season.
I knew Caleb was faithful.
You just know him like that.
He
Oh,
just
yes.
didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't come across as somebody who would be. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
I mean, like you're grasping at straws this early in the game. You
Mhm.
seriously are. You
Yeah,
have
'cause,
no
like,
idea.
And like
I mean, he
outside of
was
the
just a
game,
little quiet, you know?
Mhm.
That was it.
outside of the game, I did feel really bad. I'm sitting with my marker, and I'm like, oh my God, like this sucks. Because like not only does he ask like, oh, who did you vote for? He asked for why. So I'm just like, yeah, like kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We as faithfuls have to be smarter. We have to start really we have to start talking to people. I have tons of time for that, by the way.
Yeah, being a
Um,
nurse, yeah, you got so much free time in between what you were saying,
oh
hangnails
my!
and emergencies.
Just got home from work trying to figure out my computer shit. Oh my God.
Oh,
But yeah, so but I don't want this to be an exact repeat with
yeah.
faithful after faithful after faithful. We're
Mhm.
trying to catch. I started off last season as a traitor hunter, and I'm gonna be a traitor hunter
Mhm.
this time until people vote me out and do that whenever. I don't know. Not before we catch a traitor.
Stick, I do get good vibes from you. I will admit, I think I might have told you this already. Like my initial thought was one of you three.
Right.
I had no suspicions at all, like on you three, but I figured like I just feel like he has to be. Like I feel like in the show, right? Boston Rob.
I have that feeling too.
You know?
It's got to be one of us three.
Yeah.
But it's Phil, so maybe he picked one of us three to be one of the traitors, and then he put the other ones on the freaking wheel, and then they're
Or he
So
could, or maybe he could have put everyone else on the wheel and all three of you guys, and then just like,
yeah, exactly. It could be like, one of us. Oh, now that you say that, I'm pretty certain that is one of us three.
Well, I if I had to choose one, it wouldn't be you. I'll say that. Like I feel like I've talked to you a lot.
Yeah, we have talked a bit. Yeah, quite a bit. So
Victoria, how are you?
Go ahead.
How is it out with Tina? After
She was talking about Jonathan.
Again?
Yeah.
Seriously? That's so random. It's fucking. It's gotta be.
You said what?
I said it's fucking Tina.
I mean, and
It's
okay,
gotta
and
be.
Jonathan brought this up too. So I'm gonna say this just in case he gets murdered. So Jonathan said, in case I get murdered,
Or
what I'm
me.
gonna
Or
say
me.
is, okay, I have 30 seconds. I have 30
Hurry
seconds.
up, hurry up,
Okay.
hurry up.
He said that Tina was on Brad or whatever, right? And then after the Traitors, he's assumed that they met last night, and today all of a sudden, like whatever. And so he's saying, does Tina now know that Brad's a traitor? They're traitors together, or is Tina's a traitor? And he's like, let me just leave Brad for later. And
Oh.
I was like, oh my god. So Jonathan
That
was
was
like,
my
oh,
theory.
oh, that was you?
Oh
Oh,
no, my theory. I shared it with
That's a-
Stig earlier.
That was
oh my
her
god,
theory.
that's so
Like
funny.
just
And
now
it
she
makes
told me
sense.
that.
It makes sense.
In the same room, like
They all
they
got kidnapped.
We're all together
well,
again.
Phil's here, so we're all in shit.